Hello, Gundam Legacy Extreme, GLE, Glee, whatever you want to call yourself. This is Chitario, and this is a bit response to I've got a question 3. What would you like to see done differently in the Gundam main series? Um, in a way, it's been done, but it's been kind of going away from that. So I'm gonna go back and say it. I think they should bring back what Gundam was supposed to be, real real robot. So in the Mecha universe, you have Super Robot and Real Robot. Um, Super Robot kind of became it's kind of like Mazinger Z, awesome attack, awesome punch attacks. It was kind of like G Gundamish, like G Gundam's the closest to it, I'd say. But I'd say a lot of series are becoming like it. Um, a lot again. Oh, sorry, a lot of series are becoming a lot like it. I love the Gundam series. There's a lot of over the top things. Like I'm a fan of Gundam Double O. I would say that off the top of my right at the top. I Most of my Gundam models, I think are Double O based. I have two Cerevies, two Seraphims, a Double O, a O Riser, the XN Riser, the Reborn, and the Enact, and the O Gundam actually, which you guys. So I mean, a lot of my models are from the series, and I do love it, but it got kind of ridiculous with the Double O Riser and Double O quantization, or the whole disappears appears somewhere else. I'm not a big fan of the whole fairy dust or gene particles. I love the theory behind it. I love the the whole armed interventions, how the irony in there. They use violence to suppress violence. But I'd like to see something more like 0083 or Eighth MS Team, like real, like not real, but pseudo real robot, like or MS Igloo, two, I think it was a very good example. The one with the tanks. That in my opinion was a great series. It showed kind of like the tactics, what they did, and like the consequences. Like in ATMS team, like they had to put tarps over their the joints because sand and debris would get stuck in the gears and then it would not work. You know, they had to fix they showed you like them fixing the robot, the Gundams and the mobile suits. Like they had to go in there and there was an actual risk to it. Like Hero, Shiro, I don't remember his name actually now I think about it. Shiro Amada, was it? Yeah, I think that's it. Well, the main character, like he his shirt was being pulled, by these gears, like almost got crushed. And that was like, that's pretty scary, like to be in that position. And like later on, he loses an arm and a leg. No, sorry, he loses a leg, which to me is like, pretty extreme, especially because I guess maybe we've never seen that before. So, and like I love like the parachute, the parachute scene, and like all the tactics, like we have to come over here, careful of the water, and like how the goof custom use the terrain to his advantage, just kill the gun tanks in an amazing way throughout. Like UC does do a lot of things very realistically. Like one of the things I really love about Unicorn is the fact that is the fact that when when the Jagan or the Rizel got hit, or most got hit and the reactor blew. This huge explosion, and like you see, and like I mean they each series like almost always starts off kind of real robotish. Like they go into a colony, and if it gets blown, you get not explosive decompression, but air gets start sucking out, and like you see things just going towards it, to the void of space. Um, Zeta, Zeta for a while was very consistent in the use of wires or touching in order to communicate. Like you saw the suits touching each other in order to communicate because there's no there's no air or medium for sound to travel in space. And that was something I really but started going away from, amazingly enough, or in my opinion. Started using more radios, but I guess that is real science also. Um, what else? Kind of. Also, not plot armor exactly, but I'm not a big fan of the Gundanium armor, or the armor that like in Wing they showed us a lot. Like you see the Gundam like walking towards the screen, and they would be shooting like these huge 50 millimeter cannons at it, and they just come off like dirt. Like sometimes they get hurt and stuff, but like in general, it would just kind of like bounce off. Like if it was like a soldier, like a soldier with like a machine gun or a bazooka, and it didn't do too much. I could see that happening, but not a weapon that's scaled up to be Gundam sized. That to me is just not too possible. What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, Again, going back to Anthem's theme, or like, or Anthem's theme, or actually Gundam X too. I mentioned this in I guess the next video response in number 5, I think it was. Um, how Getter Ran hijacks a mobile suit by confusing the player and overloading the screen using a flashbang. So the guy has to come out and get around, hijacks a mobile suit. Or how in the IFMS team, like they get the guy to open the suit, and when he comes out, like someone shoots a bazooka in there and destroys it. Like that to me was pretty cool. And also, like, these machines have to be putting out a lot of thrust when they go. And a couple series have taken note of this. Like again, 8th MS team. When one of the Zakus tried to get away, the the huge amount of thrust burned away the house and I think killed the girl's dad in the process. Or like, I think in the original series, like when one of this or Igloo, it jumped and you just saw this huge pound of like trail of smoke. And this is very true. If you look at like the space, um, not space station, but the space shuttle. When it launches, you see this huge thing of smoke coming out. It's just it would make more sense. So I'd like Sunrise to go back to real stuff. Like I can't remember them mentioning anything in ATM's theme about new types. They may have mentioned it, but no one was a new type. No one, they were aces. They had gone through training, and this is actually another suggestion for this. I think we should have more professional soldiers, like be gunfighters. Kind of like the people on the not the arg I guess the Argonaut, but like on the Londo Bell and Unicorn. People who are trained for these kind of things, and they know maneuvers and things. Not random kid who looks at a manual for 5 minutes. I mean, it's not a video game. You have all these controls, pedals, buttons. So, again, these are my two things. Bring it back to real robot and more realistic military speaking things like aces. So thank you very much, and peace.